The gothic nightmare Nosferatu was ironically gifted to us on Christmas Day. It is Robert Eggers' fourth major film, and it's pretty weird, okay? And that says a lot because all his past films have been the strangest and most surreal folklore films I've ever seen, but Nosferatu definitely takes the prize as the most bizarre Eggers film to date. The story follows a tormented woman named Ellen Hutter who has been plagued with these dark and twisted dreams from childhood. And after finding true love, I suppose, with her real estate husband Thomas, she becomes mentally and emotionally healthy for a while. But then these eerie and sexually perverse nightmares start to torment her again. And what do you know? It's the vampire Count Orlok who's been forming this psychic relationship with Ellen this entire time. So as Ellen's husband Thomas travels from Germany to Transylvania to meet Orlok, thinking he's a client who wants to buy and sell some property, Orlok is simultaneously communicating and making psychic love to Ellen, which drives her kind of insane. And eventually Thomas escapes. Orlok follows him back to Germany to claim Ellen as, I don't know, his bride. And during his stay in Germany, Orlok kills a bunch of people until Ellen lures him into bed and lets him feed on her and have intercourse with her until the sun comes up to sizzle him dry, knowing that he couldn't resist her body, her blood, and her soul. And she dies a hero. Now, I didn't know Orlok was so freaky. I didn't know he got down and dirty like that in the sheets. And I didn't know we'd be seeing decaying vampire genitals, but I should have expected nothing less from Eggers, given that he had Robert Pattinson making love to a mermaid in the lighthouse, right? Now, Nosferatu was a lot of things. Good, bad, I can't say because I am still a bit conflicted about how I feel about it. But it was an incredibly detailed and visually stunning film with an impressive amount of folklore realism, which I respect a lot because as someone currently in school, I know how ugly and annoying the process of research can be, and I know it took Eggers years of research to build this world in Nosferatu. He started writing the script nearly a decade ago, I think around 2015, and you can really tell how much detail went into the film, from the historically accurate costume designs to the fact that Orlok fed from the chest rather than the neck, which is a more folklore-oriented depiction of vampirism, because I think it's like the heart is pumping the most blood, so you get the juiciest blood, you know? The horror of vampirism and Dracula has definitely dissipated throughout the years, but Eggers, I think he did a good thing here in trying to bring back the scariness. Unfortunately, it was 14A, so it's not going to be that scary. There are a lot of things to love and appreciate about this film. The shots and the cinematography were stylish as okay? And if you ever hear me talking about movies, I'm probably going to always talk about the cinematography if it's good, because it deserves, good cinematography deserves high praise, okay? In Nosferatu, there are these insane scenes where the shadow of Orlok's hand is extending over the town, and when he's visible only in the shadows, those were such beautiful shots. They really did a good job at setting the gothic, you're gonna get your blood drained type of mood, The sound design was also crazy. It was mentally unstable, kind of crazy, if you know what I mean. They had these slurping and sucking noises when Orlok was feeding that made me sick to my stomach. It was on par with hearing someone vomit. That's how good the audio production was. It was so good that it made you sick, which is a good thing because the scene is disgusting, so you want to be sick. That's the effect you want to have. And Bill Skarsgård's portrayal of Orlok, mind-blowing,
earth-shattering.
Not only were the prosthetic effects really grotesque, and I mean that in the best way possible, but Skarsgård spoke in this deep, guttural Romanian accent with no audio enhancements, and despite how hideous Orlok was, especially with that funky Ned Flanders mustache he had, hearing Orlok's voice really did something to me. Okay?
You are married, Roper. Take heed what you do.
I resonated with Ellen for a moment there because I felt like I were being hypnotized by every word that aggressively rolled off Orlok's tongue. I don't know if it was like Romanian, Transylvanian. I don't know. It was like, I'm going to suck your... Let me not even try before... It sounds like something... It was already sounding like an accent that it wasn't. So let me just pause. But despite all the beauty and stylishness of Nosferatu, it was way too psychosexual. Okay, and I quite enjoy a little psychosexual here and there, but I felt like I was sinning a little bit watching this film. Seeing Lily Rose-Depp drool all over herself and seeing Orlok's penis were just things that felt like they were there for shock effect. I don't know, maybe it's just Lily Rose-Depp, but I just could not stand it. She didn't even look like what I think the effect was supposed to be. She literally looked like somebody who got lobotomized and they're like, you know? That's what she looked like to me. If you want to see a real drool all over yourself, manic, hysteric, insane, you know, that psycho woman energy, just, I almost have it, but not quite. If you want to see something good like that, watch The Possession, because they do it so much better in that film. Nosferatu, not so much. That wasn't good. And also, why was Orlok's penis so small? That really bothered me, because it was literally the size of a pinky. It was a micro penis. I really feel like a vampire, especially the Count Orlok, Dracula, he would have a big one. No? That's just not believable to me. I don't know what's going on in Transylvania at the time. I don't know if he was cursed with a small dick, but that was crazy. And it was also a very tedious and very drawn out film that lacked a lot of depth and a lot of narrative development. Yes, the plot was plotting, but not well. I personally found that the film really focused on aesthetics and historical accuracy rather than having a coherent and intriguing sequence of events, which really sucked because the trailer was so fucking epic, and I have so much admiration for Robert Eggers that I just feel let down with Nosferatu. And I dragged my boyfriend there on Boxing Day. We couldn't make it on Christmas. I dragged him there on Boxing Day. I look over, bro is falling asleep. I kid you not. About to start snoring. Hello? Oh my gosh, that broke my heart, but at the same time, I was like, I get you. If I wasn't, so like just obsessed with Robert Eggers and I want to pay him some respect, I would have fell asleep too, but I was fighting that urge because that bored me. It almost bored me to death. Oh my god. The film was weaving between a lot of events that didn't make sense at times. We would see Thomas at Orlok's castle, then we'd see Ellen back home tweaking out like she just got lobotomized, and then we'd see Nosferatu's minion in prison biting the head off of pigeons. Usually there's some harmony between the parallel narratives before everything meets at the middle, but in the case of Nosferatu, it was scattered. There was a dude who necrophiled his wife, there was like all this different stuff, and not enough Orlok, not enough, And honestly, I really did not enjoy Lily Rose-Depp's performance. I know this is an unpopular opinion, and I know she tried her best. I certainly couldn't do better myself, but I'm not a Nepo baby, and I can't pay for a billion acting classes like she can, which I don't think she did, because she dry cries. She dry cries, meaning that when she's crying, there's barely any tears. And I just did not believe her in the movie. I'm like, this is a fraud. This is a Nepo baby. This was a real Nepo baby scenario. Some Nepo babies, it's like, all right, you got the sauce. You got the sauce. She doesn't have the sauce yet. She could have the sauce soon, eventually, at some point in time, but if it weren't for the supporting cast members like Willem Dafoe, Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, I would not be able to tolerate this film, because so much of it was just her big head on screen and her Tim Burton eyes staring into your soul, and every word that came out of her mouth, I couldn't believe it. It was so unauthentic to me. I don't know. It just, yuck. It was like hurting me to watch her perform. The only time I felt semi-impressed by her performance was when she was drooling all over herself and contorting her face in this one scene. The rest of them, especially the scenes where she's having these crazy seizures, were just not good. My brother has epilepsy. I've never seen him have a seizure like that. That was crazy, okay? God damn. I cannot believe Robert Eggers. I can't believe this man filmed that, let her so terribly, and it's like, yeah, that's cinema. That's cinema ready. If that were my actress on my film set, fired. And I've seen Lily Rose-Depp get a ton of praise for her performance. I've seen the director Robert Eggers talk about how he shed a tear at her audition, and even Willem Dafoe praised her performance. Willem Dafoe. Oh, Willem Dafoe's like God to me. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself. I love Willem Dafoe. So for him to give her a compliment like this, I'm like, are you getting senile because you're old? Is this what you really think? Did they hold you at gunpoint to say this? I don't know. If this is what he really thinks, then maybe I'm the problem, you know? I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. But for me, I just found her performance to be insufferable at times. Not all the time, but most of the time. I don't know why Robert Eggers didn't just hire Anya Joy-Taylor or anyone else for this role, because Lily Rose-Depp really only had the looks for this film. She looks like she could be the bride of Nosferatu, and aesthetically, she does it very well, but when it comes to emoting and speaking, especially when contrasted with Bill Skarsgård's performance, it's just a hot mess. And I mean that because she's a beautiful lady, and it's just a mess. It's literally a hot mess, unfortunately. And I hope it doesn't sound like I hate this film, because I really liked some parts of it. But, you know, there's just some parts that also stunk, smell like shit. You know what I mean? Overall, I'd say it's a nice film. I give it 3 out of 5 stars, which I feel like is a pretty decent and fair rating. Again, it mostly falls short for me because of the plot. The plot just felt hollow at times, and Lily Rose-Depp's performance, which takes up about 70% of the film, was just kind of shit. Man, I don't know what to say. I can't believe that Eggers did not make Nosferatu much more focused on Count Orlok. That is where the screen time should have gone, especially having casted Bill Skarsgård. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The movie should have had like maybe 5% Ellen and all these other characters. It should have been all Count Orlok. Using the washroom, walking around, dreaming. But nonetheless, I am thankful that I got to see Bill Skarsgård's vampire penis. Let me know what you thought about Nosferatu and what your favorite Robert Eggers film is. Mine is a tie between The Lighthouse and The Northman. Northman might be up there though, because that movie does not stink. That movie's wonderful. Okay? And if you enjoy okay, chill. And if you enjoyed Lily Rose-Depp's performance, I mean, everything's subjective, but I would seek therapy immediately if I were you. Go to therapy if you watched that and thought, wow, brilliant. Therapy. You hear me? I'll see you there.